Welcome to the Writer's Block. I'm Barry Trammell with the Oklahoman here in Oklahoma City. I'm joined by Rob Aller with the Columbus Dispatch up in Columbus, Ohio. And Rob, it's another big week of sports, and the big story, the Women's World Cup. The Yankees take it home. America wins another Women's World Cup. Rob, what's your impression of what this gold medal will do for soccer in America? We talk about this pretty regular, particularly when the women do well. The men don't give us that opportunity much, but the women, another World Cup championship. What do you think this will do for soccer in the United States?
Well, you have to wonder, Barry, if it's really going to take hold this time. I mean, as great as this story is, and I think this is a perfect team for the times, culturally across the board. I still think most people think of it as sort of in the way they think about the Olympics. You know, it's every 4 years and it's get excited, but is it really going to trickle down and translate into women's soccer or men's soccer, I guess, really taking hold in this country? I mean, we all know the NFL is king and it kind of wipes out everything. The NBA is coming on. There's, baseball, hockey. Is soccer? Yes, it's growing at the youth level. And, I think everyone would love to see it get more popular, but especially on the women's side. But is it going to happen? I think it's a wait and see, and maybe just more needs to happen. Although you can ask, like, what more is there than winning the World Cup? So,
yeah, I go back 20 years when the U.S. won that first Women's World Cup. I remember the game was on a Saturday against China, the championship game. I found a youth league, a girls soccer youth team. I went to their watch party and watched the game with them. And at the time, we thought, hey, this is really going to be an explosion for women's soccer and soccer in general. But 20 years later, it seems like we're sort of still the same place. As you mentioned, it's perks up every 4 years. Everybody gets excited. People take their lunch breaks. Everybody, flies the flag. And then it goes back dormant for 4 years. I don't know what soccer can do between the World Cups to sort of maintain this momentum that they establish during that competition.
Yeah, I think it's glacial movement, and that's probably not, that's not the best if you're a soccer fan, aficionado, and you love to see the women's team kind of get more recognition, get paid, all the things that are out there. Again, I think this team culturally is across the board, very diverse. You've got Rapinoe, you've got everything you'd want in a team that people can connect to and relate to. They can pick their person, pick their woman who they really want to support. So if not now, when? I think it'd be great to see it happen, but we're still waiting to see.
Well, despite the slow advancement in terms of soccer fandom, kudos to the American women winning another World Cup. Hey, let's move to segment two. By the numbers, the Major League All-Star break hit us this week. They staged a home run derby on Monday night. The problem with the home run derby is every night in Major League Baseball is home run derby. So far this season, 3,691 home runs hit in Major League Baseball. That's more than was hit in the entire 1989 season. 1989 was not a dead ball era. There were a lot of home runs hit in 1989. Now we're on pace to obliterate the record. It seems like baseball has more sluggers than ever. But, Rob, is that good for baseball?
I think for now it is. Everyone loves the long ball. But I think it's a short-lived situation because baseball is overreaching, in my opinion, just in general. With new rules, they're trying to appeal to the millenniums. And my feeling is, be who you are. Don't be the middle school kid who's trying to be with the popular kids. Embrace who you are. Maybe that won't turn your sport into the number 1 or 2 sport, but you'll solidify what you have. Baseball is about tradition. Baseball is about going to the park, chilling out. It does take some time, but that's part of the beauty of it, I think. And the home run it's like the slam dunk, right? It's like a jam. You see it, but once you've seen one, you've seen them all. I thought that was the thing with the home run derby. As good as it was, and as those exhibitions go, this was a pretty good one. After a while, you just tune out. I think the strategy of baseball the hit and run, the little things that most like younger millennials don't even know anything about. That is what draws people to the game. So, be who you are, accept who you are. Don't do these funky rules, thinking about putting a man on runner on second base and all this stuff. Now, some stuff's good, speed the game up a little bit, but I don't think the home run is the answer. I think after a while, again, it's like if you had ice cream every day, finally it'd be vanilla ice cream. It'd be like, I've had it. I've been there. Let's see something different. And I'm not sure how far if they can go backward on this one, because it's become a philosophy barrier of guys swinging for the fences, and they don't care if they strike out. I was at the All-Star game talking to players. It's not a negative anymore. Back in the day, the Dave Kingmans and these guys who were made fun of because they struck out so much, now they just don't care.
Well, the thing that concerns me is what you mentioned, the residuals of the home run. Strikeouts, walks, all those are higher than ever. That means fewer batted balls in the field of play. The most exciting part of baseball is when a ball is hitting the hole. Can a shortstop make the play? When a ball goes in the gap, will it be a double? Will it be a triple? Can somebody throw out somebody going from first to third? You see so few of those plays anymore because everything's a ball, a strike, or a home run. And to me, the beauty of baseball, the fielding is less important than ever. It's just a bunch of pitchers throwing at hitters, and it has become like the home run derby itself. Just guys standing around, and then they either walk back to the dugout, or they jog to first base with a walk, or they jog around the bases. And they're losing sort of the excitement of baseball. The stolen base, less important than ever before. You raised a good point. I don't know how you go back because it has become so cultural. Joe DiMaggio having 360-something home runs in his career, 360-something strikeouts in his career. That kind of honor is gone. I don't know how to fix it. Is there anything we can do as bastions of this game to try to bring it back a little bit to what it used to be?
Well, I think they need to market it as retro. They're trying to keep up with the NBA and, the hip hop culture and try to make the players, the Mike Trouts who are kind of resistant to being marketed. They're trying to, bring the faces of the game forward. I just don't think that's baseball. I think baseball is the things you talked about, double in the gap and the tradition and the experience of going to the park. So trying to be what you're not and trying to be hip, so to speak, and culturally relevant. A little that's fine, but I just don't think it's where it should be. And I think if they keep trying and reaching, swinging and missing, which is a bad baseball analogy there, then they're going to be in trouble and they're going to strike out, and the game is just going to kind of keep spiraling downward.
Well, it's definitely something that concerns all of us. There's a whole lot of us that love baseball. We just don't particularly like it at this point in time. Let's move on to segment 3. Barry Trammell of the Oklahoman. I'm joined by Rob Aller of the Columbus Dispatch. And Rob, let's go to our Say What segment. And NBA player movement has dominated the first week or two of July. Free agency, trade demands. We've got all kinds of superstars who have traded teams. Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant going to Brooklyn. Leonard and Paul George leaving Oklahoma City to join Leonard in Los Angeles. Is this Anthony Davis already in LA as a Laker this summer? Is this a good thing for the NBA, this constant player movement, not just in free agency, but guys under contract wanting to be traded to join other superstars?
Well, I would have said 20 years ago, no way. But I think, not to bang the millennial movement too much, I think that's how things go now. You stay at a job 2 years, you move on. It's not a big deal. So player movement, getting to know these guys, on my team is not as important as it maybe was back in the day. I think now the marketing, NBA's done a great job. They market these guys. I think the idea of parity, right when everyone was getting tired of Golden State dominating, when Cleveland being there with LeBron, now it's kind of anyone's game now. The Lakers can get there, the Clippers can get there. I think the parity issue is pretty good. Maybe they're taking a page from the NFL, but I think for people who really are in love with NBA, and I find this, I don't know if this is just anecdotal, Barry, but I hate to put an age on it, but if you're 50 and up or 40 and up, maybe you're not quite as much into the NBA as 30 and under, 35 and under, and I just don't think they care. They love the way it's marketed, the hip hop, the celebrity is king, and the NBA does a good job with that. So I think the transition here is it's not about teams as much as individuals. Let's say you follow LeBron. You don't care if he's a Cleveland Cavalier or a Los Angeles Laker or Miami Heat. You love LeBron. That's kind of unique to the NBA, and they've got to figure it out.
Well, you raise a good point about the parity. This constant player movement doesn't strike us as being great, but you can't argue with the results. More teams than ever appear to be in contention for the title this coming season. And if you look at the recent champions, 3 of the last 5 champions have won the franchise's first NBA title in at least 40 years. The Cavs in 16 never had won it. Toronto this season never had won it. Golden State, a dynasty, but Golden State winning in 15, they hadn't won in 40 years. So the results are showing that this is creating some parity and evening out the competitive balance. That's always been a problem in the NBA, which has been historically a top-heavy sport. And if that changes, then I think we have to salute the player movement. Is there a concern, though, Rob, that Davis, George, and Leonard all go to L.A., Kyrie, Durant both go to New York? We've always heard, hey, the New York and L.A. markets have an advantage. Now these guys are drifting not just to the Knicks and the Lakers, they're drifting to the secondary, the Nets and the Clippers, who have been punchlines all these years. Is that a concern that those metropolises are getting the great players right now?
Well, sports isn't fair. It's like life. It's not fair. I think it's a concern if you're in Oklahoma City, if you're in Cleveland, which, lost their superstars. I mean, Oklahoma City can't be happy about the player movement because it's detrimental to them, with Westbrook possibly, on the trade block also. But, I think they're going to the mass appeal. Lakers, still a lot of Lakers fans out there who still remember Magic and Worthy and those guys and Kobe and New York is a little bit different, but I think it's the coasts win, and I don't know if that's good for the game overall. I don't have a feel totally for what fans think about it. Is it just such a marketing TV sport that it doesn't matter again where they are? But yeah, I'm writing that, I just column the other day about how there just aren't a lot of destination spots anymore. Are you going to go to Detroit? You want to go to Detroit, Cleveland, Oklahoma City? No, these guys are going. It's not just about winning. It's about, lifestyle. And, these things tend to cycle. But, again, for the heartland and a flyover country, as they say, probably not real good.
Well, it is a concern. But, again, looks like a great season in the NBA. Hey, thanks for joining us on the Writer's Block. We will be back next week.